To brighten our day, let's go to Peter Loubardias, Calgary Flames color man. I'm hoping he notices we have a Flames jersey adorning our set for the first time ever. Good morning, Lou, or good afternoon where you are. How are you, my good man?
I am awesome, guys. I'm awesome. I'm as interested as anyone about the reopening phases of the great province of Saskatchewan. So glad I could help fill some time this morning.
Well, the sports fans are here, and
Yeah.
everybody else wants to know what Mo has to say. I will say this, Lou. It looks
As
like
they
you've been
should.
busy. Yeah, and they should, for sure. Looks
Yes.
like you've been busy doing some voice work and so forth. I mean, normally you'd be elbows deep in either the Stanley Cup playoffs or for sure the CHL playoffs. So how you been filling your time otherwise?
You know, it's the voiceover workshops that I've been in have been incredible learning about just a very different world and how competitive that world is. And frankly, after being behind a microphone my entire adult life, I didn't really think I could find myself in a position where I could feel like I was 5 again. But there are incredibly talented people who voice commercials and do animation. And it's as competitive, if not more competitive, as the sports world itself. But, you know, it's been great. You know what, guys? I've been doing terrific. I really have. By and large, it's a very different time for all of us. But I've really, in all sincerity, spent a lot of time being grateful, thinking about all the people in my world that have made just an incredible difference. And, you know, I've read a lot of books, many of them in the self-improvement type genre. So, yeah, I've tried my best to be okay without sports and the regular routine. And I've actually found the time to be quite enjoyable and feel like I've learned a lot.
Well, I can tell by your chipperness. Something's happening. It's working, Lou, for sure. The key for everybody is once we get back to normal, to stay in that zone, right? By the way, Nelson, one of our viewers, writes in, he says, beginning in May, golf will be allowed in the province of Saskatchewan. 1 person per cart, raised cups, and social distance measures. Goes on to say, fishing and boating will also be allowed in Saskatchewan parks. Parks will be open for overnight camping to Saskatchewan residents only at 50%. Every other site empty. Lou, you're a hockey guy. Are you a golfer?
I'm not a big golfer, to be honest. When I lived in Saskatchewan, you know, as an adult, I played quite a bit. It's funny, since a child came along, and actually when I moved to Ontario full-time for a while in 2000, I got away from the game. And now, Rod, I know you guys will find this hard to believe, but I'm fairly intense for the most part, and quite competitive. And I get out now 3 or 4 times a year, and I don't like feeling like I've never hit a ball before in my life. I every time I come back to Ontario for the summer, where I have lots of time on my hands, I say that this is the summer I'm going to rededicate myself to golf. Hasn't happened. Hasn't happened. And if you want some great thoughts on golf, which I listened to a couple of days ago, and it won't make golfers happy. And trust me, I have lots of great friends who are golfers. It's a terrific game. For me, my favorite part now is forget about scoring. It's just the social aspect of it, especially, you know, when we can get back to being social again. But if you ever want to listen to something funny, try George Carlin on golf.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, just give it a listen.
I can give you Rod Pedersen on golf. It's the heroin of sports, because the people that are into it are like, just try it. Just come on, try it. Come on, you'll love it. Try it.
Right.
Listen, keep it to yourself. Okay? I'll be fine. Come on. Just try it a little bit. I'll pay for it the first time, you know. So, and that's the thing with working in hockey, Lou. They all golf. It must be hard for you not to golf with all your buddies being hockey guys, right? Because that's really all they do all summer.
Well, they do. Again, my world is a little different in terms of where I spend my summer. And, you know, I'm not inundated, to be honest, at home with a lot of sports types. It's crazy, but I mean, my wife is not a sports person. My stepdaughter is not a sports person. My in-laws, especially my brother-in-law and my father-in-law, they love sports and they play a little golf, and that's generally who I play it with. But no, to be honest, Roddy, I don't miss it.
Yeah, cool.
I'm more like you. I'm more like you.
Well, last summer was my first summer off in 20 years, and I played 6 rounds. It was the most I'd played in 6 years, and I do enjoy it, but I'll only golf with my wife because everybody else will laugh at me, and I am out there for the social aspect and to go with friends. But to win anything...
It's an awesome game.
Or to go into a tournament where guys expect to win and I'm going to be the anchor and bring you down, no thanks, not fun.
No, I can embarrass myself each and every day without putting a club in my hand and a little white ball that I'm going to chase around, and I'm going to hit it 100 times and be angry 92 of the 100 times.
Right. So, Lou, moving on to a couple of different things. You and I share a lot of passions. One of those is the Regina Pats. The Connor Bedard stuff. How much are you like? They're selling Bedard T-shirts now. People got jerseys with 98 Bedard Pats up on their wall already. It'd only been a Pat for 24 hours. This is, man, it's going to get wild here.
Listen, it's awesome. In this day and age, anything that drives people's interest to junior hockey, to the Pats, to the great league that is the Western Hockey League coming out of its draft yesterday, which, by the way, if you missed it, you guys, I'm sure, have probably addressed it already. How about 4 Saskatchewan kids in the top 7 and 7 Saskatchewan kids in the first round? That's an incredible year. And in this age group, which is said to be one of the better age groups, I mean, that really bodes well to have an opportunity, no matter what Saskatchewan city you watch the Western League in, to see some great people. I'm really excited about Connor. Sat in on a conference call that he took questions. You can easily understand that this is a very, very mature young man. It's what it requires. I always say that the one thing we should never not consider highly when we make these decisions is, these young people who I watch a lot and at a lot of different levels, the skill level has never been higher. But I think as equally as important, if not more, is it's not always easy for a 15-year-old to be a teammate of somebody who's 20 and all that goes hand in hand, leaving home. How do you fit in? But this young man obviously has incredible ability. A couple of scouts I've talked to, the one name that comes up is Steven Stamkos, who I had the privilege to watch as a minor midget in Markham, living full-time in Ontario. And if this young man, becomes the next Steven Stamkos type, because I'm not a big comparison guy, then you've got someone special. But this was a hard decision for the league. He's the first to have this kind of status. And I'm more convinced now more than ever about 2 things. I know, and again, I have great friends and great respect in the Western Hockey League in so many different centers, but I think Regina is a top-notch place. John Paddock, Dave Struch, ownership group, they will look after his interests the right way. So to him and the fans, I can't wait to see him in action when the next season starts. And there's no doubt in my mind the right due diligence has been done by all the people that will allow him to have success, not just as a player, but we need to always remember the Western Hockey League is way more about growing people than just hockey players. That's really, really important.
No doubt. Lou, lastly, and Darren, you jump in here anytime, but I mean, I usually hear you on NHL radio, and I don't think NHL radio is operating right now. At least Barney isn't on the power play. So are you doing many interviews like this, or how many of your friends and shows are on the air? Are you like what?
No, I've had a couple appearances on your show, on my own radio station in Calgary. They don't seem to be ringing the phone a whole bunch, but they're doing okay. No, to be honest, this is probably number 5 or 6, and that's good. That's just fine. So doing a lot of reading and studying and always happy to come on. Listen, when you're as old as I am and you've been around as long as I am, you just pick up the phone and you're just happy as all get up that maybe somebody still wants you to come on.
Oh, yeah. Well, you always got a home here, Lou, in your home province. But the reason I ask that is simply this. All the NHL guys that we've had on and everything that I read, everybody's positive that the season will conclude. And James Myrtle said yesterday, well, what else are they going to say? They have to be positive. But it's almost like you guys got a memo from Bettman saying, say we're coming back. Maybe you did. I don't know.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, well, so what are you thinking about? They're talking about moving the draft up now so as not to interfere with the July-August resumption. So where do you think this is going to go?
Here's the fabulous part about the world that we're living in right now, especially in the social media era. Everybody's got an answer. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody wants to forecast the future. We all need to feel better, and that's really, really important. Roddy, I don't know if you can write a book on mental health and all that process. But the fact of the matter is this is a day-by-day scenario, and we don't know. I know this. In the people that I've talked to, including Brad Treleving in Calgary, they will exhaust, I believe, every avenue to complete in some way, shape, or form the 2019-2020 season. Now, will they be able to? I don't know. I mean, does anybody really know?
Of course not. I thought that was a rhetorical question. No, nobody knows.
But you know what? I'll be frank. I am pretty positive, and I think at a certain point in time, you know, the hardest scenario about all of this is, you know, it feels to me in our world sometimes like you always have to pick a side.
Yeah.
So if you say some things should return or could return, then you're not valuing humanity enough. Why can't we continue to work together as people to get to the middle? Honest to goodness, whether it's restarting hockey, what they're doing in Saskatchewan, everywhere. Let's try and get to the middle and actually take some time to listen to others. That's what I've been thinking a lot about during these times.
Sure. Well, your last visit with us went viral, 25,000 views on Twitter of the be good to each other. And I hope that it did make a difference for folks. Lou, we'll let you go. Here's hoping maybe the next time you are on, we'll be talking about the resumption of a season. Maybe we won't. Whatever. We'll see. But we always enjoy the visits. And I would say stay safe to you and yours, my friend.
Yeah, right back at you guys. Love the show. As you know, you guys are cooking along with gas. And that Clark guy in the corner, the guy needs a bit of a raise. He's doing a hell of a job over there.
Where's Paul? See you, Lou.
Bye, guys.
Peter Loubardias drops a stink bomb and then leaves. Of course he deserves it.
Yeah.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.